Welcome to a special edition of Ask Arlington. I'm Jay Warren. On this episode, we're going to be focusing on the Community Influence Leaders Roundtable, that's also known as CILR. Now, what is that, you might ask? Well, the Community Influence Leaders Roundtable was formed to help Arlington reach its full economic potential by promoting an atmosphere of inclusiveness and diversification of the city's economic base. The CILR is an Arlington Chamber-hosted committee and represents a cross-section of leaders and community partners. The Roundtable meets regularly to discuss issues related to improving the economic and social development of the city of Arlington, as well as increasing the diversity of the city boards, commissions, and committees. And joining me now to talk more about this initiative is Chaplain Rich Stoglin, who's a member of the CILR, as well as the President and the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, Michael Jacobson. We want to ask you, thank you both for being here so much with us today.
Thank you, Jay, for having us.
And before I even get into this, let me thank you for all the hard work you're doing for Arlington, because this is a really important initiative that you're both working on.
You're welcome.
I think, as I mentioned in the introduction there, a lot of people may not be aware of CILR. It's not an acronym that may have heard of. So why don't we start off with just a description of exactly what your organization was set up to do and maybe what you've accomplished thus far.
Well, Jay, thank you for having us again. The CILR is what you said in your introduction. It was started in 2014 as an idea. At the beginning, we really didn't know where we were going, but after a few months, we decided to do that. And then when Kelly Canutt, who was the interim president, CEO, saw the validity of it and realized that there was going to be someone behind him like Michael Jacobson, who came in and really supports us, we reach out to energetic, forward-thinking leaders, most of whom happen to be African American. They are not African American leaders, they are leaders who happen to be African American, and we serve on various boards, PPAC, Public Policy Advisory Council, diversification, thanks to Michael Jacobson in the Chamber. We serve on the Community Relations Committee. We serve on Civil Service Commission. We serve on the MLK Committee and major organizations, committees, boards, and agencies like that.
Well, what is the mission then? As you're looking at this from the Chamber's perspective, what do you see as the mission of this organization here?
Well, I'll start with the mission of the Chamber first. The mission of the Chamber is together we champion economic and community prosperity. So to me, that mission, there's a couple of really important words in there. One is together, right? If we are going to achieve that mission, everybody in Arlington has to have the ability to benefit from the economic growth that is occurring. We're fortunate. We're in a huge boom right now and a tremendous amount of investments going on in our community. So how do we make sure that we are inclusive? How do we make sure that we're pulling everybody into this opportunity that exists? In Arlington, we're fortunate that we have this great strength, and this strength is called diversity. But we need to make sure that it is a strength. And the way to make sure that it is a strength is really focusing in on that inclusivity and making sure that that opportunity is coming and benefiting everybody. So it aligns perfectly well with the mission of the Chamber, the mission of CILR.
I think the brand of Arlington is the American Dream City. One of the pillars of that is diversity, and one of the things that I love about our community is how much we celebrate that diversity. It is so vibrant. And that you're helping push that agenda. So I think that's great here for Arlington. So you've been in existence here for a couple of years. Describe to us what success you've already had, because I know you've already had an impact.
Yes, we have. We number one, in order to be a member of the CILR, you must be a member of the Arlington Chamber of Commerce. Second, we have made some major accomplishments. What are they? The 25% NWBE policy, we wrote the blueprint for it. It was eventually passed. We are now, the city now has rejoined the North Central Texas Recertification Agency to ensure that our investment as taxpayers are provided with competent input so that people can go to minority companies that are certified and do the work. We've increased, for example, in the city of Arlington in 2014, I believe it was only $8 million of contracts with the city. In 2017, per our last report, it was $33 million. And so we also have been able to, as I've stated earlier, to be on boards and committees and commissions, and also, thanks to Michael Jacobson's leadership, it's the most diversified, is my understanding, in the city City of Arlington, Texas Chamber of Commerce, in the city of Arlington, Texas, thanks to our mayor, Jeff Williams, and they have been instrumental in being part of all of this. And so we have made some major accomplishments and continue to do that. And we also are dealing with partnerships with Leadership Arlington, AISD, and some other, and the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce. In fact, and recently we've had exchange, which has never again happened before, thanks to Michael Jacobson's leadership and others. We've exchanged credentials between the two executive board members. So they are a reciprocity of each other. The Arlington Chamber of Commerce, the Fort Worth Metropolitan Chamber of Commerce, D. Jennings is the president and CEO. This is all historical situations. Working
together. And Michael, you know, we heard MWBE there, and I want to make sure people understand what that means, because that can be one of those confusing acronyms.
It can be minority and women-owned business enterprises. And the one thing I would say is, you know, we got obviously these big investments taking place, right? The new ballpark that's under construction, you know, a $1 billion project, Texas Live. And, you know, one of the great things about Arlington is our businesses that are investing, the Rangers and the Cordish companies, and they're committed as well to making sure that their projects are inclusive. Absolutely. And one of the reasons that those numbers, not only did the city put the policy in place that CILR helped craft for the city, the business leaders are absolutely there. They see the benefit of being inclusive and creating opportunity for everybody and celebrating the diversity that we have in Arlington.
Now, 25% is an ambitious goal, but a very achievable goal at that, right?
Yes.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is.
And we are monitoring that here at the city on a quarterly basis with a report that we call the Home Plate Update that has those MWBE numbers in there, so folks can see with the baseball project, with the new ballpark, as well as with the Texas Live project, that we're hitting those numbers. The commitment is 25% that we're trying to get.
And the last report, Jay, to further elongate that point, according to, as I said, in November 2017, it was 19.5%. And the staff member who is providing the report is also on the certification agency. Not only did CILR ask to, when the city council cooperated, but we also wanted a representative to why? To make certain that our stake at the table was being discussed and being considered and so forth. So we actually have someone in those meetings, which is important at the certification agency. And 19.5% to go from $8 million in 2014 to increase it to $33 million by November of 2017, in my estimation, is astronomical. It's not getting at the objective at this point, but it's certainly well on its way.
We're in the beginning of those projects too. So
yes, it is. And as Michael has said, with the investments and the $1 billion investments that is now in this city, the cranes are moving, opportunities are here. Diversity is not just a cute phrase, it is a reality that we have to deal with. And through CILR and the Arlington Chamber of Commerce, the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce, we are working together to make certain that we achieve these objectives. And not just because it's political or it sounds good, but it's right.
The right thing to do, and it's exciting times here in Arlington.
Yes, it is.
Clearly, you've already accomplished a lot, but that's not it. I know that there's a plan in place.
Yes, it is.
Let's first look at what you really hope to accomplish over the next couple of years.
We hope to increase diversification in the city, particularly in our business and economic boards, agencies, committees. We also hope to increase, if we can, the MWBE that we discussed, input and companies and corporations. We also want to further partner with AISD, MIS, Arlington Independent School District, the Mansfield Independent School District. We want to further give input and recruit the Arlington Chamber of Commerce. We want to further have other leaders that we can be mentored, like the Leadership Arlington and other organizations that will really help send the message and outcome that the city of Arlington, it truly is the dream city.
Yeah. Yeah, we love that. So, and how does that dovetail with what your mission is? I know the togetherness is
Yeah.
there, and I love the fact that that is in both of your mission statements here. So how does that dovetail with what you're doing at the Chamber?
Well, I mean, it's sort of very similar, really. I mean, for us, over the next 2 years, we want to continue to grow the economic opportunity that exists for everybody that lives in Arlington. And that's a goal of ours. If we do that, if we keep business growing and we keep opportunity, the community is going to benefit.
Yes.
The two go hand in hand. The only other thing I would stress is I think it's important from a strategic plan standpoint too, is that we keep dialogue going.
Yes.
So we're always communicating and having dialogue and understanding, have an understanding of what needs are out there and how can we help. I don't think we, at this point, could say everything that needs to be done over the next 2 years,
Right.
but through dialogue, we'll get there.
Yeah. And to support what Michael has just finished saying, we in CILR, and Michael's part of that committee along with some others, we have created Bound for Diversity, where we are crafting a plan as we speak, and we are going to present it, and we're going to go into the community, and we're going to have a dialogue that Michael is saying. In fact, we hope it becomes a prototype where other cities and municipalities can emulate it, because we do need to talk to each other and not at each other. Absolutely. And to respect the culture, respect people's ways and histories and their purpose, because people come to Arlington and settle here, and I think they're beginning to understand that this is not only the Dream City, but an international city. And we are going to work on that, and hopefully we'll be back on the show to even talk about that at a later time.
And it's the American Dream City. The great thing about it is everyone's American dream can be different, but they can realize it here in Arlington, and the work that you all are doing is helping them achieve that, and we're grateful for that. So one last kind of final question to this, because I know you had a 5-year strategic plan. We're now about halfway part, or getting close to it. Yeah. So at the end of that strategic plan period, how will you define success?
We are monitoring it in 2 or 3 ways. One, every other year we've created what we call an open forum, which is held at Tarrant County Community College Southeast. And this year is going to be that year. You and your staff have been invited to that. And we are going to let people know what we have done and what their input to us is. Second, we have quarterly reports within the CILR minutes and platform to help monitor that. We also have someone reporting to us about your home plate report that's given to the City Council. We also are looking at ways beyond 2021 so that we can monitor and really see and measure what we need to do.
To keep the growth
going. To keep the growth going, to keep the dialogue going, and open the dialogue where there has not been dialogue, to invite others who traditionally haven't been sitting at the table to sit at the table. And I'm not little Chaplain Stoglin and Big Michael, or little Michael and Big Chaplain Stoglin. We look at each other and deal with each other together. And we can call each other. We have called each other. We've met. We will continue to meet. And we will bring others in. The Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce has been a very huge instrument. And Michael Jacobson and Dee Jennings have known each other for, I guess over 30 years. They know each other. This is not new to them. And we, through that prototype, have increased our dialogue and the ability to work together to measure our strategic plan beyond 2021.
What a great word to end with, because you had together there in that last point.
Yes.
It's where we started. I think it's a good place to end. And let me thank you both again for the hard work that you're doing for Arlington. You are making it a better place to live, learn, work, and play, and that's making a critical impact here in our community. So thank you so much. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And thank you all for watching. They'll do it for another edition of Ask Arlington.